Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TXL slash Toxic Love podcast. I'm your host, Angel, with my co hosts, Greg,
What
Chris, and
up?
Rob. And today, we're going to be talking about the playoffs, divisional playoffs that's going to be going on today. And we're going to be talking about Madrid and how Xabi said, I don't want to be here no more. But before we do that, though, I want to get everyone's opinions about the wild card games. And I got something to say about each wild card games. One, we had the Bears versus Packers, where the cheddar cheese was hot on the platter, until the Iceman came in and said, "Nah, we're gonna cool that thing down." You know. Then we had the Eagles and the 49ers, where Nick Sirianni and AJ Brown are arguing on the sideline while Purdy's hitting the gritty on the end zone. And then we had the Panthers and Rams, where I've never seen Stafford sweat more than a Keel and Peel skit. And then we had the Steelers versus the Texans, where Stroud couldn't hold the soap, where he dropped that shit so many times, and then Aaron Rodgers was just asking for his tequila because it was his last shot, aka his last game, to drink his sorrows away. And then we had the Bills and Jaguars, where if I've ever seen more of a script in my life, is that game. And if Lawrence ever retires, make a great actor on the way he sold his performance. And then we had the Chargers versus Patriots, the two best MLS teams, aka in the NFL, because all they did was pretty much kick that whole game when it came to scoring. But gentlemen, I want to get your opinion on how we feel about these wild card games. What did you guys feel? Which was your favorite, Greg? Let's start with you, Greg. How you feeling
Uh,
about that?
my
Well,
favorite.
before Greg gives his opinion, I want to know how long did you recite that damn script you had for that?
It was just off the head, man. Just off the head.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Mr. Iceman himself, huh? Yeah.
Just the Iceman. Ice, ice, ice.
All right. Well,
Greg.
first off, Caleb Williams is not no Iceman. Let's just get that through. Uh,
Big differ.
oh, hey, we could talk about that another time. Uh,
That we can.
I'm gonna mainly talk about the Texans and the Steelers game because everybody had a really high probability of the Steelers winning that game. Because their offense was playing very well. Supposedly, their defense has gotten better the last couple of games. Don't get me wrong, CJ Stroud is having a rough time right now. His offense is pretty hurt. O-line's hurt. Tank Dell, we haven't seen him since pretty much last year. But people just don't realize that Aaron Rodgers is just not him anymore. He hasn't been since his last year at Green Bay. His first year going back. His first year going to the Jets. He tore his ACL, I believe. Was it his ACL?
Achilles, man.
Achilles, one of the two. Hey, it don't matter. Uh,
Or something.
he's still playing like dog shit since then. I mean, I give him some grace just because. I mean, he did tear it, but it's been 3 years roughly now, right?
Give that man shit.
But he's been shit in the playoffs since winning his chip. He's now 7-10 now going into the playoffs. And the Texans defense to me is the best defense. Some people will say the Broncos, but I mean the front seven of the Texans is just, in my opinion, better than the Broncos. And the pressure that they give, the blitzes. I mean, if you look at that hit that Aaron Rodgers took, I thought he pretty much died on the field at that point. He just laid there and took it. But yeah, the Steelers' offense wasn't doing anything. DK Metcalf, who I think is a pretty good receiver, but he just doesn't have that
Overrated.
touch. He's never had that touch. He's more of a physical receiver. He doesn't have the Randy Moss type of hands where it just falls into your hands with love and grace.
He's
But yeah,
overrated.
I would say that the Texans defense really showed why, in my opinion, why they're the best defense, at least especially the front seven. And the corners, they're decent enough. They're obviously not like PS2, but I mean, realistically, in my opinion, the Texans just their front seven, they don't need to the front seven just does too much to where the back four don't really have to play much. Or I shouldn't say play much, but they give them enough time to where they can play in the field where they don't have to make a play on defense, even though they still do when the ball does get thrown out.
Rob, what was your favorite game?
Favorite game? Well, to kind of piggyback off of what Greg said, uh, many of you are going to come to realize I despise Aaron Rodgers. I do not like Aaron Rodgers. I never will cheer for Aaron Rodgers. The dude has brought all this attention on himself because he's nothing but the stereotype of a diva. The dude is worse than some wide receivers in the NFL, as far as I'm concerned. He's a drama queen. The dude always wants all the attention on himself. Meanwhile, the dude hasn't played worth a shit for like the last 5 years. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Plus, I'm never gonna live it down that he robbed my man Drew Brees of an MVP award, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, we're gonna have words about that one. Anyway, as far as my favorite game of the weekend, I would probably have to say, entertainment wise, it's hard to say because the first 4 games of Wildcard Weekend were all entertaining. Like they were all 1-score games. You can't ask for much more than that. And then you got the 2 stinkers that were laid the nightcap, and then last night. Um, I'll probably say that my favorite was the Bears and the Packers game, simply because for us as a group, we were all tuned into it and we were all chit chatting back and forth with it. When it looked like the Bears didn't have a prayer going in halfway through the third quarter, and then all of a sudden the floodgates opened and Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers defense just disappeared. It was a sight to behold. What looked glum turned into just sheer joy for the Bears fans. Uh, as far as I'm concerned, Jordan Love is to blame for that game, as well as the Green Bay defense. Green Bay's defense disappeared, and then Jordan Love did all what he could do the first half. They could do no wrong. They probably left some points out on the field, but he got them a 20. They were winning 21-3 at one point, had complete control of the game. And then what happened? What
The
happened?
receivers weren't catching the ball.
Well, that's more the fourth quarter, but I agree.
And you put Golden into the late of the game.
And you see, that's another thing I don't understand. You draft a receiver in the first round for the first time in years in Green Bay, and the dude took till the first game of the playoffs to get his first touchdown on the year. Why was Matt LaFleur not including this guy in the offense? Makes no sense. No sense. And then you go into the fourth, and I said on my previous little pick episode that for the Bears to win this game, I did pick the Bears to win, but I said for them to win, they were going to have to win the turnover battle. They didn't even win the turnover battle, and they still found a way to win. So I'll eat my L on that one. But I think it says this win for the Packers says a lot more about the Packers than it does the Bears. The Packers lost that game. They gave it away yet again. But you tip your hat to the Bears. They were down and out. They never stopped fighting. They got the win. They're moving on. But I would say that was the most entertaining game. The most shocking game of the weekend for me was probably shocking. I'd say it was the Chargers Patriots because it really wasn't even a game. Like it was nasty. All they did was punt, punt, punt. Nobody could keep their hands on the ball. It was just sloppy, ugly football. Um, Going into the divisional weekend, I'll say this. A lot of people are probably going to say that the Patriots should be favorites against the Texans, but I'm going to beg to differ on that because the Chargers defense was harassing Drake May, and he did literally just enough until the fourth quarter to get a dub. Their offensive line did not look good. Their running game was not firing on all cylinders, and their receivers really weren't nowhere to be found, to be honest with you. It was really just a defensive struggle, and then they scored a few late points in the fourth to, make it look a little better. If the Chargers defense is going to do that to the Patriots offense on the road, what do you think the Texans, who have the best defense in the league, is going to do to this man? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Texans are going to win, but they are damn sure going to make that dude's life a living hell, more so than what the Chargers did. And the last point I'll say before we move on is it's time for Pittsburgh to clean house. It's time. They need a new voice in that locker room, which we saw earlier today. Tomlin stepped down. They weren't going to fire him. The Rooney family has too much respect for that man. He's done all he can with that organization, but his time has come and gone there. As far as the game itself, Rodgers looks every bit of his age as 42 as he possibly can. Uh, their offense is just dog shit, quite honestly. And I'm going to say something that probably people should be speaking more so on. You paid, now I'm a fan of him. I'm pretty sure Greg is too. I can't speak for Chris and Angel. We love the way TJ Watt plays the game because the dude is a dog. But when you're going to sign a 3-year, $120 million extension, you are supposed to show up in January games. In 5 playoff career games for the Steelers, TJ Watt has 1 sack. 1.
Michael Parsons.
That's a fact. You're supposed to show up when your team needs you. And the dude has been virtually non-existent. I'm pretty sure there's an APB out for this man in the city of Pittsburgh because I sure didn't see him last night.
I'm pretty
Meanwhile,
sure
you look
for
at the Texans
everybody.
defense, the front 7 is flying around like they're the 85 Bears, hitting everything in sight, anything that has a pulse and moves. They damn near killed Rodgers on the field, as we saw. I mean, the Texans defense don't even have to blitz. They get pressure with 4, and it allows the linebackers and the defensive backs to do whatever the hell they want. I mean, to get 2 defensive scores on the road in Pittsburgh, where it's notoriously a tough place to play, where they said in the pregame broadcast, Tomlin doesn't lose Monday Night Football games at home. Well,
Never
they got
has.
their ass served to them on a silver platter. And I'm glad it happened on national TV because it showed the glaring holes in that franchise and a team, and they need to just clean house. All in all, Wild Card Weekend was a great success in my eyes. I got 2 of my picks wrong, but for the most part, the way I said every game would play out, including college football, they pretty much panned out the way I thought they would. And that kind of sets us up for a good divisional round. Uh, Chris, I'm not sure if you watched any of the games outside of Green Bay and Chicago, but what did you think?
Mm, well, I'm a Bears fan, so I mean, I got my W. But all in all, it was kind of crazy how that happened fourth quarter. I have no words. Am I happy? Of course. Statistically, do I think the Bears are gonna go far? Probably not. And I've been saying that since after the season. They're not Super Bowl ready. As far as playoffs, I mean, they're just if they get lucky, they get lucky. But as far as I know they're gonna get knocked out, and I'm just it is what it is, to be honest.
I would like to just say one thing after that, not to interrupt you. That is a true Bears fan. True Bears fan. He's not delusional like some people we know or the rest of these damn Bears fans out here. He understands that they have to go through so many trenches to fucking win to get to the Super Bowl. I do believe they beat the Rams early in the year, but this is now the playoff Rams with Puka and Matthew Stafford. It's a whole nother thing. This is not the regular season.
Shout out to Puka on Demon Time.
Facts. Shout out to his I guess that's still his girlfriend. I don't know the whole situation going on with him right now. But thank you for that. You also
Let me get a try though. I want to try Puka. Let me know.
Speaking of
Facts, hit us up.
delusional Bears fans, does somebody in this Discord server have a cheese grater hat yet? I'm just curious.
Not yet.
Well, I don't.
No, not yet.
Give it time.
Give it. Yo, don't worry. I want my opinion. I know Bears fan, but the other game I watched that I find where it's gonna be very interesting is gonna be the Bills, how they beat the Jaguars. That game, I watched that game on my tablet, and if I've never seen more of a God's blessing for Josh Allen and Lawrence just saying, you know what, I'm throwing the towel. Like in my opinion, I'm like that it was a good game, but at the same time now leading into for Josh Allen wise, I'm thinking if he's gonna get that much pressure on him, like the Jaguars did to him, boy, he's gotta pray that the Broncos don't put that much pressure on him, and hopefully not get if they do win, hopefully not get the Texans defense, because at that point it's just
Okay. I'm
He is
glad you
Superman.
brought this up. I'm glad you brought this up. You said it was a blessing, and you think Trevor Lawrence threw in the towel? You think he quit?
Dude, the way he threw that last play, they had 53 seconds left. They could have got it to field goal range where Little could have tied that game, especially with the skills he has kicking the ball. But
Were
just
we
throwing it down
watching the same game? Because I seem to recall Trevor Lawrence put the ball in the dude's hands, and homie didn't catch it. He wanted to play patty cake with it, knock it in the air, and make it a live ball for anybody to catch it.
No,
That's not on Lawrence. He put it in his hands.
The Jaguars had 53 seconds left on the clock. They could have easily went up the field to get into field goal range. From what I saw, again, was literally Lawrence just threw it down the middle and just gave it straight to that Bills player. And they had plenty of time. They had plenty of time to get it on the edges to stop the clock and get into field goal range. But that's just my opinion. And I'm just questioning, and we're going to talk about the playoff games, which will lead into now. And if we want, we could talk about this first playoff game, which is going to be the Broncos and Bills. Now, I personally...
Well, wait, before we move on, I want to give you my final thought on that. I get what you're saying. I totally understand. They had 53 seconds, okay? I understand that. What I'm trying to insinuate to you is you cannot put that loss on Trevor Lawrence solely because of that interception. Did he play great? No, by no means. Neither did Josh have like a field day, but when the lights were bright and the pressure was on, Josh Allen threw a dime on a third down play, and his receiver caught the ball. Trevor Lawrence did the same thing on first down. He threw it in homeboy's hands. It is not Lawrence's fault that he did not catch the ball. You cannot blame that on him.
It's a bad
Now,
week for
I
all
will
receivers.
say Lawrence should have did a better job of putting his team in a better position to win through the entirety of the game. I'll agree with you on that. And this is coming from a Josh Allen fan. I like Trevor Lawrence too, but I honestly think he was always overrated. That's just my opinion. But he did his thing in that game. There was plays that he missed and shit. Don't get me wrong, but what it boils down to is that Josh Allen took a beating in that game. The Jags defense took away the Bills' rushing attack, which was number one in the league. The Jags had the number one rushing defense, and the Bills' rushing offense was non-existent in this game. Literally, it was all Josh Allen. He had to will his team to victory, and he did. And I'm sorry, Trevor Lawrence is not capable of doing that. That is why there's levels to this. Allen is up here, Trevor Lawrence is down here, and it's going to continue to stay that way. Now, before we move on, I will say this. The Broncos defense is miles better than the Jacksonville defense. If Allen takes another beating like he did and still finds a way to win this game and put his team in the AFC title game, we need to start having conversations about how good this guy really is. Because at that point, he is dragging his team when they're not even supporting him. The dude doesn't even have a number one wide receiver, for crying out loud.
And now let's lead it to the Broncos and Bills game. And I'll give my opinion on it. My opinion is, and my pick for this game is going to be the Broncos for this over Josh Allen. Like, just seeing that Jacksonville game, like, just seeing the way Josh was playing, like how his line was, in my opinion, it just felt like this defense is going to be better than what the Jaguars had. So, like you said, like if they keep applying pressure, if the Broncos just apply that pressure and can get picks, and when Nick's on the other side, in my opinion, Broncos should take this game. Not by a landslide, but they will have a better edge over it, in my opinion. Greg, what do you think? Between the two.
I don't totally agree with you. The front four, in my opinion, with Jags are way better than the Broncos. The Broncos have a stronger corner set and safety set. PS2 is the best corner in the league. He's going to be shutting down one side of the field because there's not a number one corner on the Bills for him to cover. So, as everybody is proclaiming, he's going to shut down one side of the field. Everybody else will have the other side of the field. It's pretty much, can the Broncos bring the pressure And can Superman be Superman again? I do have the Bills actually winning this game. Not by much, maybe a field goal. Um, I've heard it. I've said it myself. He is fourth quarter Bo, but it's fourth quarter Bo versus Superman, and Superman knows that this is his chance now that Patty McBoy's not here. So he's gonna take every opportunity that he can and show us why he is the reigning MVP from last year.
Rob?
I totally agree with what Greg said. Front four wise, the Jags have a better front four than the Broncos. But when we're going to talk pure secondary, the Broncos are miles above the Jaguars secondary. With that being said, fourth quarter Bo is a real thing. He's shown it all year. But in a game like this, I like to boil it down to a factor of things. Which quarterback you going to trust the most? Like, who's been there before? Well, obviously, I'm going to give the nod to Josh Allen. This is Bo Nix's technically his second rodeo in the playoffs, but they're the number one seed. They got home field advantage throughout the playoffs if they somehow win, yada, yada, yada. Now, head coaching wise, Sean Payton's won a Super Bowl. McDermott has not. Excuse me. So maybe the coaching advantage, slight advantage to the Broncos. However, I have proof of context with Josh Allen. The dude just seems to play the best when the lights are bright. I have not seen that yet from Bo. He can do it in the fourth quarter, but can he do it the entirety of a game? Because Bo is almost the same. I don't want to put him in the same category as Caleb Williams, but in this context, I will. I've heard somebody say this, and I tend to agree with it. And it kind of goes back to the wild card weekend thing. Caleb Williams is good, no doubt about it. He's very talented, but at some point we got to start having the conversation. Is he more lucky than good? Because the dude gets away with a lot of throws that he shouldn't. And does he make a good bit of them? Sure. But when you really break down the footage from the wild card weekend, Caleb Williams did not have an efficient day throwing the ball. The dude had 23 incompletions. And that team was down and out going into the fourth quarter. Did he make the plays to win in the fourth? Sure. Can Bo have the same type of performance and make the plays going into the fourth? Sure. But I just think when you weigh the aspect of Allen being there before and the pressure of him having to try and get to a Super Bowl with the big four, as they call them in the AFC, three of them being out and he's the only one left, I like his chances. I think he can go on the road in Denver and win. Will it be a close game? I think so. My official pick would be the Bills, but I won't be surprised if they take a loss just because we've seen the Broncos come back time and time again. But I'm gonna roll with the Bills.
Chris, what do you think? From a neutral, I would say, perspective.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know shit, but I mean,
In your opinion, what from hearing us talk, what do you think?
honestly, I mean, I'm probably gonna be biased here. I like the Bills, so I'm probably gonna go with the Bills. Just because of my bias, you know.
No, I get it. I just think that again, just going back really quick on what my opinion is like. I think the Bills have to now make sure that Josh Allen is not gonna get as much pressure on him as he did with that Jacksonville game.
I
Because
totally agree. They need to do a better job
Because
protecting.
you got to remember too. I don't know if you guys did see it, but like at the beginning of the game, he had to step out of the field
Yes.
for a concussion, just to
Yeah,
make
he
sure.
took a nasty hit.
And then he was still taking nasty hits, you know. But and we got to remember, Broncos have had their rest time. They have the footage to go over right now.
So
And the Bills. Oh, go. Fair.
So here's the thing, though. It's always great to be the first seed. It's always great to have that rest. But now you're going into a game where you have not played, you've only practiced, and you're going off of a team that just won their first game. I'm not saying that that's a big factor, but there's been plenty of times, if you look back to date, where first seed teams have lost those games because they weren't ready. They were just too relaxed. They were in their own
The rest
Cabo.
versus Russ. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Russ versus, hey, we just came off of this win. We're gonna keep this team rolling. So I'm not saying that that's gonna happen to the Broncos, but again, Bo Nix, as we said, he hasn't been here before. Josh has been here countless times. That team has been here countless times. They know what they have to do. The Broncos, this is their first time getting into the playoffs with a full healthy team, coming off a break. And we all know the longer your win streaks, the harder it is to keep it. Now, they did lose, I believe, like one of the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
once you kind of take that loss, that's also can play a factor. It can take a hit on you. So, I mean, it's gonna be a good game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos win, but again, my pick is with Superman, not the Broncos.
I mean, can we also make the point of this? Like, are the Broncos kind of one of the most least impressive number 1 seeds we've ever seen? Because I mean, do they have a great record? Sure, but I don't view them as a great team. They just lucked out, and I'm not even going to say luck. They just found ways to win, and I mean, at some point, that luck has to run out.
I would agree with you, but we've seen the Chiefs do it, and
Oh God, yes.
they've won the Super Bowl. You know, they were all really close games. Their luck did run out last year, but close games, it really just depends. We'll see how it goes.
Now, just one more question about this game. Do you think being how close this game was with Jacksonville, do you think, like, honestly, the Bills' momentum is high now, or is it like mid-high, or it's somewhat there?
Momentum,
I mean,
Going into this Broncos game.
I'd say
it's
on a
pretty high.
scale of 0 to 10, I'd put them at like a 6, 6.5.
I would put them at like a 7 or 8. Now, if they're healthy and they can protect, I would put him at that 8, 9. But if Josh isn't 100% and he's kind of still beat up, I can see where it's at the 6, maybe the 7 with 4-5%. It all just depends on how healthy the O-line is, if they can protect him, and how good Josh is after that hit.
I like this. All right, we'll go back and forth. Let's go to the NFC side. Seahawks versus 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks are also favored, but we don't know which Sam Darnold we're gonna get. Either he's gonna be sloppy with his play style, or be just going out, throw it to his receivers. But the 49ers, I think, are also coming in hot, and they're gonna want that revenge on what the Seahawks did. And my opinion right now would be I would think I'm gonna go with the Seahawks on this, but you got to bank on Sam Darnold having a good game and not throwing away his chances, aka throwing the game, in my opinion, because then 49ers are going to take that momentum they had the previous game with the Eagles and just go with it. Rob, we'll start with you. What are you thinking?
I was gonna say, Greg, do you want me to go first since one of your teams is in this game and you save your thoughts for last?
Go for it.
Okay. Everything with what Angel just said, he makes a valid point. We have another number 1 seed here. It's the rest versus Russ factor. Are the Seahawks going to come ready to play? What they have going for them as opposed to Denver is that this is a divisional game. 3rd time they're seeing the 49ers. It's going to be in Seattle. You have a couple key factors here. The 49ers are still beat up, but these boys have been there before. They know how to win. Interesting statistic I heard earlier today, which blew me away. I didn't even realize this. Did you guys know that Kyle Shanahan, as a head coach, is undefeated in the divisional and championship rounds? Every time he's made it to the divisional or championship round, he's won. So by that logic, you would say, okay, pencil in the Niners for the Super Bowl, but obviously it doesn't work that way. The Niners are really hurt, but apparently that didn't play a factor against the Eagles, even though they lost Kittle for, the rest of the year and a good part of next year, tearing his Achilles, which is unfortunate. I'm a big fan of his, but, he is very injury prone. So you have that. Uh, it's not, I mean, I wouldn't say technically Seattle's going to be, or no, San Francisco is going to be intimidated by Seattle being a home game because, I mean, obviously this is the third time they're playing them. They already went on the road and played them once. And, I mean, it's really not that far of a travel type of deal because, I mean, they're both on the West Coast. So Seattle and San Fran's kind of used to that. Um, I love Seattle's defense. I do. Young stars everywhere. They know how to play ball. They know how to play physical. They know how to take your best things away. And we saw it in week 17. They made the 49ers look like a shell of themselves. And the 49ers had everything to play for. Seattle put the clamps on them. Them boys couldn't do nothing. Now, with that being said, that's regular season. Here's playoff time. We have proof of context with the Niners. We've seen Brock Purdy ball in the playoffs before, just as well as their other star players. The key factor for me in this game is going to be the defensive side for both teams. I'm going to take Seattle's defense over San Fran's defense because for some odd reason, and I'm sure you've seen this too, Greg, I don't know what Rob Salah's deal is, but this dude shows zero will to want to blitz. And whenever he's not getting pressure with 4, the dude is still just sending 4. Now, did it work for them against the Eagles? It did, but that's a different offense compared to Sam Darnold. And that also goes hand in hand with Sam Darnold needs to show up and be good Sam Darnold, not bad Sam Darnold. Coaching edge, I'd probably give to San Fran in this game because they've been there before, but I like what Seattle's building. It's going to be a tough, hard-nosed game, but my gut's telling me for some reason San Fran's going to find a way to win this game, but I can't pick them in this spot. I can't. I've seen too much from Seattle this year. They've been in the tough games. They know how to lock teams down. They can do just enough on offense when it's an ugly game. Just a couple weeks ago, they shut down San Francisco. So at home, under the lights, I'm going to roll with Seattle. Punch their ticket to the NFC title game.
Chris, do you have any thoughts before I go? Gotcha. So, I mean, Seattle's my team. This is the third time they will be playing. Rob kind of touched base on most of it. I'll put it this way. Sam can't be Sam from last year. He can't make the mistakes that he did walking in, especially with the record that he had again. That's just almost as good as last year. Sam has to show us the Sam that he played as the last 3 weeks. Now, the best thing for Sam to do is to protect the ball. Don't throw the ball like crazy. Don't do anything wild like. Your defense will do their job like they have done all year. All you got to do is protect the ball, Sam. At this point, it's protect the ball. If you can do that, I do think it'll be kind of a close game. The last time they played, I believe they were home. I am a little worried because Seattle has not played good at home at all this year. It's been really rough, even though, they're supposed to be this great home team. They showed, I believe it was the safety where the press actually asked San Fran, are they ready for this game? They were hyped for it. They're ready to go. This is the third time that they're playing. They want to get revenge for after getting mollywopped last time. And they have a lot on their shoulders to prove that they're this team. The question is, can their 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th string players continue to play that the way that they've been playing against this fully healthy team? Both teams are going to try to scheme things up. They're both going to try to add some new plays. I mean, San Fran can't allow the run game to be stopped like it was last time. CMC didn't do anything almost all last game. And Purdy has to be Purdy. He can't be. We have to see playoff Purdy. He has to stay healthy. He was dinged up a good majority of the season. I think he missed like 5 games, 6 games, something like that.
5 or 6.
5 or 6 games. He seems to be doing okay, but the way Seattle's defense is, a couple hits could take him out of the game. But I mean, their backup Mac Jones also played phenomenal this year. So
Yeah, in light of him, he balled. I'm not even gonna lie.
So I think it's going to be another close game. But if Sam can stay on pace and not turn the ball over, it can get pretty ugly, I think, actually, with them being home and the way that their defense has played. If JSN balls out,
I was gonna say, do you think JSN has a big night?
JSN will have, I would say, about 12 targets, catch about like 9 of them, and I think he'll probably get over 100 yards this game.
I can see that.
No,
yeah.
Just real quick, to me, this game was on the fence for me because I've seen the 49ers play, and I think what stuck with me the most was the way the Seahawks played the Rams in that crazy game, which debatable if it was the game of the year so far. But I just remember Sam just getting lucky and just being able to somehow and just throwing some some flops going on. It was both quarterbacks, with Stafford and him. But I'm thinking the Seahawks are well rested, which we talked about the Broncos. Either it can go good or bad, and then with Sam Darnold, you don't know what quarterback you're gonna get. And he could have balled out these 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden just shit the bed.
To go back to that game though, I wouldn't say Sam was throwing wild. Like some of those plays, yes, but in that fourth quarter, he showed why he deserved that contract he got. Now, he can be very iffy. I mean, we've seen it last year, somewhat this year. He's not a Brett Favre, but he can be a turnover machine. But when he's on, he's on. And he showed during that game, I believe, and the last game that they played, why he can't do it. He just needs to stay on pace with everything. He can't allow the psychological things to get to him. He needs to stay with that Mamba mentality, or at least some of it, to win this game. And if he gets past this, that next game that he has to play, whether it's the Bears or the Rams again, man, he's really going to have to show us.
Yeah, he's wildly inconsistent in that regard. I mean, the game against the Rams, when he threw the one play that stood out to me against that Rams in that Rams game was when he threw that red zone interception. I believe it was like in the second quarter or the third quarter when Seattle was actually driving and building some momentum. I'm like, dude, why are you trying to force it? And he has bonehead moments like that, and it baffles me. You need to just trust with what you're seeing. Take what the defense is giving you. I mean, you have arguably one of the best receivers in the league in JSN. If homie is open, feed him the ball. Let him rack up the yards after that. That's what Stafford does with Puka, and we see it every damn week. Just trust what you're seeing. Don't try to make the Superman play. That's not what got you here in the first place. As long as he makes the right plays and doesn't lose the game for him, I think Seattle probably gets this win.
Do you think the momentum is low now for him though because of this break?
No. I think that helps him out a little bit because it breaks off a little bit of the pressure. And he just needs to keep that mindset of, hey, we just did this. We need to do it again.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Okay, yeah, that was our next game. All right, guys. Chris has some technical difficulties. We'll see how that goes. But boys, we're gonna move on. Next game, Patriots and Texans. They're gonna be playing. I think it's at the Patriots, right?
Yeah, Patriots.
Texans are going to Patriots. Gentlemen, in my opinion, this game, and I've seen the way these two plays, there should be no excuse for the Texans not to win this game.
Texans?
Because I think Texans should win this game. Hopefully, Stroud doesn't drop the ball 5 times like he did. But if he can clean that up and get those jitters out the way, seeing the Patriots in the Chargers game, and most of the points that they put on the board was field goal kicks, like, and how the way the Texans defense is going right now, like May should have a little harder time. And don't get me wrong, it could go. In my opinion, it can go either way. But the Texans, in my opinion, are more favored than the Patriots are, especially how that wild card game went, and just getting one touchdown like that. It's like, yeah. So, curious about your two opinion. Rob, start with you. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna check
Okay,
the
What we
odds
thinking,
on
well,
that game.
well, I agree with the sentiment that the Texans have a good shot of winning, but do they have zero excuse to lose? I disagree with that. Simply because of the fact that the Patriots are very well coached when it comes to Mike Vrabel, and he'll have his boys ready to go, but the Texans are they're like Jekyll and Hyde. Their defense is legit. Nobody is doubting that. But their offense leaves so much to be desired, it is ridiculous. Now, I'm going to say CJ Stroud has no excuse to be regressing this much in year 3 after his rookie year. But what it boils down to me is that I thought about this today. The Texans defense is so legit where their offense, based on the way they played all year and this past playoff game, they're good for a touchdown, maybe a touchdown and a field goal a game. That's all their offense has shown me. So when you play the Texans as star-studded as their defense is, it's pretty much a game of a race to 20. Because if you can get to 20 points, their offense is not scoring 20 points. I'm sorry, they're not. Now, you're going to be asking a lot from CJ Stroud to be putting up 20 points on the road because can the defense replicate their performance of getting 2 defensive touchdowns? That's kind of asking a lot. Can they play lockdown? Sure. But the defense was responsible for 14 points. Half of their points against Pittsburgh came from the defense. 16 offense, 14 defense. So Patriots have a good D too. Mike Vrabel's a good defensive-minded head coach. It's on the road in New England. Drake May's second career playoff game. This will be CJ Stroud's third playoff year. Defense-wise, I give the edge to the Texans, and I do think they're going to make Drake May's life a living hell in this game. I do. But I want to pick the Texans. I do. I just don't know if I can. It's tough. Um, damn. It's such a tough game to call for me. Because I mean the Patriots did not look that impressive on offense against the Chargers. And the Texans have a better defense. Um,
I just think it's down to if Stroud can clean up his act from what he did the last game.
and I think that was an outlier game too. Because I mean, is he gonna fumble 5 times in another game back-to-back weeks? I don't think so. But he's very bound to not play flawless either, for that matter. Shit, man. It's tough for me to pick a winner in this game. It really is. When you weigh all the X factors. I mean,
Well,
defense travels, defense wins championships. Uh, you know what? Just because I do not have any faith in the Texans offense, I have to pick the Patriots. It's going to be a very, very, very close game. I will not be shocked if the Texans pull the upset. I will say that. I just can't pick them with my chest. I can't do it.
Greg, what are we thinking?
all I'm gonna say
What are
is
we thinking?
swarm. Texans are winning this game. I will say this though: if Nico Collins does not come out of protocol for the concussion, this is going to be a very bad game for the Texans. You cannot go into this game not having your best weapon. You're already missing Tank Dell. You have had him all year. Nico Collins has been in and out for the year. And with your best receiver I mean, they got some boys on there that can play receiver, but if you take out Nico Collins for this game, who I think had a pretty decent game, it's going to make it very hard for them to win in general. I do have the Texans winning this game. I don't trust Drake May. He hasn't shown me enough. I think this second year, right? Or we're in his second year? Yeah.
It's first year.
Actually, you know
Sure.
what? Before you continue your thought, I'm changing my pick on record. I'm picking the Texans to get the upset. I am. I am. Simply because I don't buy the Patriots either. I think they're a year ahead. They're probably going to be here for years to come if they nail another draft class because they got plenty of cap space too. They're playing with house money this year. Everybody said they're a year ahead. I agree with that sentiment. The Texans got some momentum. If their offense can just make enough plays, they can win this game. So you know what? I'm gonna pick them with the upset. F it.
They
Again, and
are
just
they are only a 3-point less of a favor. They have the Patriots as a 3-point win favor. Not bad
So
odds.
they're keeping it script wise like the Vegas odds makers because traditionally the home team gets 3 points no matter how evenly matched they are.
Yeah.
So they're saying that still on a home field the Patriots are only 3-point favorites with the Texans offense playing how they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Texans.
Seahawks, just to bring it up, Seahawks have a 10-point favor.
Ooh, that's a little too much.
And the Rams have a 3.5-point
why.
favor.
The 49ers are going to have Kittle when it comes to because he got hurt again, so he's not going to be playing for the 49ers. But
Still, though, man, 10 points is a lot in an NFL spread. A lot.
Yeah. I mean, if you really think about it, I understand where it's coming from. The entire team's hurt. If you shut down CMC, you don't got an offense over there. He is a Swiss Army knife that does it all. But if you take that out, like what they did week 17, I mean, what did we see them do? Nothing.
But anyway, sorry to cut you off. Continue with your thoughts on the Texans
No, you're
and Patriots.
good. I don't like what everybody's been saying. They're a year ahead. They have the funds. They have the cap space. They have the talent, but if they can get a couple more pieces, this is definitely a Super Bowl ready team that I could see winning maybe a couple chips, maybe one or two. You just got to be able to keep all the pieces healthy. You got to pay all the pieces. But as of right now, I mean, most of them are on rookie contracts and their vets are on veteran contracts. So, I mean, they got the money for it. They have the talent for it, but they are ahead. And after what we just watched, what Angel said, I mean, the Texans defense is just phenomenal. And if they can hound him like that, Drake May, man.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a long day for Drake May. I'm calling my shot right now. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're just going to dominate them and take over the game. But for the good part of this game, they are going to make Drake May's life a living hell.
Is his tackle back? Is he healthy?
Which one? Because Will Campbell played. That's his left tackle. I don't think they're going to have their right tackle for this game either.
I think one of their tackles or one of their guards got hurt.
Ooh.
And I think he might be done, just like the Bears. I mean, we're going to get into that too, but why don't we go ahead and get into that? Or do you got something else to say, Angel?
I just want to say, when it comes to the AFC, this is just this thing is more on whose defense is going to be the better.
Oh yeah, that's how it's always been. It's always been that way.
But I feel like it's more apparel in the AFC more than the NFC. But
you want to know why though? Because 3 of the best 4 quarterbacks in the AFC didn't even make the playoffs this year. It's more defense than offense this year.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes is gone. Joe Burrow didn't make it. Lamar didn't make it. When you hear those, you think offense, star power. Them offenses going up and down the field. The only one out of the big 4 to make it was Josh Allen this year.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, just the way the Patriots played that game and the way the Texans, and if I'm not mistaken, didn't the Texans get like 20 points in the fourth quarter?
Yes.
The
turnovers. Their turnovers.
Yeah, the turnovers, and then a couple. It was like what, 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns. I think from Stroud.
No, 2 field goals.
I am busy doing something. What do you need?
But and like I said,
okay, thank you.
The reason why
Text
I
me
say
next time.
Unexcusable is because Stroud needs to this is his third year, right? It's his third year, right?
Yes.
And that he's been here before. I'm still new to football, but he's been in the playoffs before, right?
Who are we talking about?
Stroud.
Yes, he has.
And that this is May's first year.
Yes.
And with
first year in the playoffs.
And with this Texans defense, Stroud needs to lock in and show everyone like he's not gonna do what he did against the Steelers and fumble 5 times. And like I said,
not, because if he fumbles 5 times, that game's gonna get ugly real quick.
I put it this way. This is the one game where whichever defense gives the offense a shorter field will win this game.
Agreed.
It's whichever defense plays better and gives the short field will win this game. Because what's up?
No, I just remember seeing a comment where on the highlights were like, man, Stroud better buy his whole defense a dinner.
I mean,
no, he needs to buy more than a dinner.
Like he said, you gotta buy him a full dinner. But like that again, I'm going with Texans. Like they should win this.
Clean sweep across the board for the Texans. Okay.
All right.
Gentlemen, our last game. And this one might be debatable between me and then you two. But the Bears and Rams.
Debatable. Debatable.
In my opinion.
Yeah, what is your opinion on this?
My opinion is Iceman, baby. Ice, baby. It's coming back, just like 85.
You know what happens to ice when it heats up, right? It melts.
The Rams are going to be cold.
They're going to be playing cold? Last time I seen the check in our group chat, Rams are coming into Chicago with all the smoke, and guess what? Y'all ain't ready for it. You're not.
They're going to be put down with physics with this cold.
No, you want to know what physics is going to happen? It's going to be Puka equals demon time to the touchdown power. That's what it's going to be.
Yep.
No, his fingers are going to be too cold. He ain't going to feel them.
I don't know. If the weather gets bad, I can kind of see that. But you got to remember, Matt Stafford was from Detroit. He had this weather.
Yeah.
He's used to this.
I'll not joke around. But the reason why I want to give...
I make this argument too before you continue, Angel. The Rams were one play away from beating the Eagles last year on the road in Philly in a blizzard. You don't think they can come to Chicago and play with them boys?
I think this is going to be the reason why. 2 reasons. I think one is this is going to be a very cold game. I think it's supposed to be somewhat in the 0. It's supposed to be 0. Somewhat.
Well, y'all are both in Chicago, so y'all tell me what the forecast is for the game.
No, bad. I mean, if you look at how the pack,
cold.
It's supposed to. It might snow. They're predicting it might snow a little bit during that game. But going back to really quick, the reason why I want to give I'm giving the Bears more of the edge is because we seen that Rams and Panthers game. We saw that game and how Stroud or Stafford was.
The high is going to be 18. The low is going to be 9.
Chance of snow is what?
0.
Oh, okay.
Might be that I've heard somewhere. but real quick,
it's supposed to rain on Saturday. Supposed to rain on Friday. It's clear on Sunday.
Okay.
No, but another thing was that the Panthers game with Bryce Young and just the way the Rams played against the Panthers and how close that was.
Panthers are not a sorry team.
They're not sorry, and I get what you're saying, Angel. But at the same time, the Panthers were lucky to be in the playoffs. They were playing with house money. They had nothing to lose. I'm pretty sure the Rams kind of overlooked them too in that regard. No wonder they gave them a good game. Plus, you got to
I-
think too. The Panthers beat them earlier in the regular season.
They did. The Panthers did beat them.
I
They're
just
the
think
ones that ended their long winning streak. Matter of fact.
that Ben Johnson is going to have enough footage on this Rams team where he's going to point out their weaknesses. And like the homework for this is going to be because the Bears at this point the Bears are unpredictable. You could be up.
You
20 to
really
30.
don't know who the Rams head coach is, do you? You think Ben Johnson calls crazy plays? Woo.
I just think John. I need to do more research onto the Rams. Like I know somewhat of what he's been able to do, but
I'll say this.
Don't
I
don't
will
get me
not
wrong.
say that the Bears can't win this game. I won't say that. But
Sure.
you guys losing your left tackle and your safety, TJ, was it TJ Ward? No?
TJ Edwards.
TJ Edwards, him breaking his fibula. And now you guys don't got no help over the top to cover Puka. It's going to be a real nice field day for Puka. Y'all don't got no corners like that.
Because I
also just-
mean, y'all struggled with Romeo Dobbs. He was tearing the Bears a new one. Christian Watson really didn't do much in that game, and he's arguably the number one receiver. Jordan Love was dropping dimes left and right. His receivers kind of sold on him down the stretch.
Yeah,
What do you think Matthew Stafford, who should win the MVP, with a healthy Puka, and from what I'm hearing, Devontae Adams is going to be 100% a go. What do you think he's going to do to y'all secondary, who, mind you, is a bend but don't break defense? Y'all
I will say-
thrive off of turnovers.
I will say this though, he does have an injury going into this game
Who?
with his Stafford.
Oh, Stafford dinged his hand on somebody's
He
helmet.
does-
But the
he-
X-ray came back
Oh,
negative.
he's been fighting that. I mean, if you think about it all week, all year, he's been having back problems. He's been having hand
Didn't bother him.
problems.
I didn't hear one word about his back
Wh-
during the year. Not
Which
one.
is why I also think this weather, and like you said, he's played in Detroit, yeah, but his age playing a factor and kill. Honestly, the way I look at it is it's going to be a ball out game. It's going to be like how the Bears played against the 49ers. Score, score, score.
The question
that.
is,
And then-
can the Bears offense score on this Rams defense? And can Caleb prevent himself from doing the turnovers? He can't miss those passes that he was doing. Like, don't get me
Oh
wrong.
yeah, no,
He was throwing the ball. I give it to him. That magic throw on fourth down, I think it was. And
Yes.
he just launched that ball like that with both feet. I mean,
the way he had his body.
Mind you, 20
in the air, it was
23
a good throw.
incompletions. You can't play inefficient like that against a Rams defense and still expect to win.
Yeah.
I just
'Cause
think
as good as they are on the offensive
Rams
side,
defense is
they
completely
run
different.
hungry.
I just think that I agree. Like for sure, Caleb can't get away. Like from here on out, they cannot get away with being in a deficit of points. Like it's just gonna get
Most
harder in
definitely
here.
not.
If, like you said,
if-
if they played the same game against the Rams that they just did against the Packers, they are losing that game.
But I honestly believe Caleb is saying to himself right now, with Ben Johnson,
And his
that-
painted nails.
this needs to be it has to be clean. Like they're if they want to be in the conference final, or I think it's the conference final, right?
In a sense, yes. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
championship game.
This is the game where Caleb has to throw as little interceptions as possible, and
His
that
turnovers
is like-
his turnover ratio isn't bad. Not to interrupt you, sorry. His turnover ratio is not bad. It's the incompletions and how he gets mad that his receivers run the wrong route. You can't do that against this team. The Rams will eat you alive doing that shit.
Plus, I find he still holds on to the ball a little too long for my liking.
Yes.
no, I could see, I could see that. I feel like I honestly feel like Caleb is that player where he's saying to himself, where he's putting pressure on himself to like, I need to do this now.
You don't want
This
that
is
pressure
it.
on him, though. Now, I'm not saying that there's not there's a massive difference when it comes to college ball and
Correct.
the NFL. But if you look at him, especially his last year at USC, correct? Am I right?
Yes.
I mean, he was that loss that he took, that took him out of the Heisman and took him out of the playoffs. He shrank, and then he just didn't care.
He showed it a lot during his rookie year too.
I
His
need
rookie year
him.
was a little.
And you know what? And see, that's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I won't say Caleb's a bad quarterback. I won't say he's a good quarterback. But when you have the pieces surrounding you, there's no reason you should be playing bad at all.
No.
You have the coach. You have the pieces. Let's see it. You can't be making these silly mistakes or these bad read throws from time to time when you have all this talent around you. I mean, they rebuilt the O-line. And don't get me wrong, they had a good year. I give it to them. But to me, I feel like that schedule that they played, if injuries happen, you can't do anything about it. But I don't see that they had that really tough of a schedule. I really don't. And don't get me wrong, they won their games. They did what they needed to do. They beat the teams that they needed to beat. But now Caleb has to be on his A game. And last I checked, from college to now, he couldn't get it done then, and he ain't gonna get it done now. That's just my personal opinion. I have to see it. I don't knock Chicago fans, even though I'm from here. I don't knock you guys for being excited, being happy. But you guys beat up a Green Bay team that don't have no receivers. Parsons is gone.
They did, but they benched him. They didn't play him until later in the game.
Well, I mean, but even then,
Golden.
Golden hasn't played what all year, right, Rob? Pretty much.
Was that?
Did Golden play at all this year?
He played all year, but they didn't really feature him in the offense. Like I said, this was his first touchdown of the year.
Well, there's that. Tucker Kraft, right? First name?
He was gone by like week 7.
Yeah, so Kraft was gone. Parsons was gone. If those now injuries are injuries, but if those three were there, that we might have a different outcome, in my personal opinion.
Oh yeah.
But
even with those injuries, like I said, Green Bay controlled all 3 games they played against Chicago. Yeah. They did. All 3.
They just don't know how to finish. I will say this. Caleb knows how, as they used to say, Aaron Rodgers owned the Chicago Bears. Well, Caleb owns Green Bay. As of right now, that's in my you can't knock him for 3 games all year being down damn near 14 points all 3 games and came back. You can't.
Yeah.
3 times.
Like I said, I tip my cap to him.
Last year, I think they went 1-1, so I think he's, what is he now, 4-2 against Jordan Love, something like that. But at the end of the day, he has Green Bay's number.
If I'm not mistaken right now, I think the Bears, when it comes to playoffs, I think the Bears are 2-1 against the Packers in playoffs right now. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw that somewhere. But obviously,
that could be true. But I mean, that it's very rare to kind of catch the same divisional game, especially if it's right off the bat in the wild card. You don't usually see that. At least I don't think.
I think it's going to be at home. Right now, they have the moment. I think they have momentum going into this game, knowing it's home and knowing, especially what they did, what they were able to pull off. Got Loveland, Monongai, Odunze. Like I think, with that, like I said, I think it's going to be ball for ball. But at the end of the day, I feel like the Bears could get it done.
I understand what you're saying,
especially with Santos, because the kicking is also going to be important. Because if I don't know who the Rams kicker is, I'm kind of oblivious to it, but like if Santos could just also be making his shots, and then if the kicker can't be, and also the Rams kicker is having a hard time with that too, I think for sure it's.
So let me ask you this. You just said that, right? The momentum. They went up against a Green Bay team. Injuries.
They were down 18.
Injuries. Okay. Yes, you won that game. What did Matt Stafford just do? Was he not just down to the Carolina Panthers? Did they not lose to them early in the year? did they not come back and win that game on a game-winning drive, I believe, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
I thought it was a field goal.
Game-winning drive, scoring or
Oh.
field goal. It's the same thing.
Okay.
But yeah, so I get what you're saying. They did their thing, but you can't knock the Rams for doing the same exact thing and doing it against a more healthier team. So I mean, it should be a good game. I understand what you're saying with the whole cold thing, but the Rams play in the cold. They travel the East Coast, Midwest a lot, and they play a lot of games. I mean, what Rob said earlier, they played the Eagles. They lost off of one last drive in the game in a blizzard. It's not going to be snowing here. I think it's going to be a great game. I do have the Rams winning, though.
And I am in complete agreement. The Rams are my pick for this game based on everything we just all discussed. Uh, I think the injuries and the luck factor is going to finally catch up to Chicago. They had a great season, had a lot of comeback wins. I just don't think that they're there yet. I still believe their defense is feast or famine. They don't have it. They have a bend but don't break philosophy. Plus, this is not the New Orleans Saints fan in me, but I don't like Dennis Allen. I don't like his style of defense. It got stale in New Orleans really quick. And I'm kind of seeing a lot of the same similarities that Chicago has. They just thrive on the turnovers. When you take that aspect away from them, offenses go up and down the field on them.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a gut feeling that Mr. Stafford, Puka, Devontae, when they roll into town, they're going to do the same exact thing.
Williams, too.
And defense wise, I give the edge to the Rams too in this game. They force turnovers, but they play good defense. They have a pass rush. Their linebacking core is solid. They got good young corners. None of them are stars yet, but they're good and they're solid. They can hold their own. I think the pressure is going to get to Caleb early and often. I think the defense will make a play here and there to maybe flip the field. And I think the Rams offense is going to just not be denied. I have the Rams winning. I can see it being a close game. I can see Chicago putting up a fight. But I'll probably say the Rams win by like 7 or 8, something like that, depending on how the game rolls.
And not to mention, Williams is having a decent year. And, I mean, they're ranked 31st in run stop defense right now. So, I mean, Williams is probably going to have a field day on the Chicago Bears defense. So, we'll see how it goes, though.
McVay does like to run a lot of 12 and 13 personnel, too. So
Yeah.
get ready for a lot of 2 tight end sets. They're probably going to try and run the ball down their damn throat.
All right, gentlemen. Now, just last topic. We're gonna move on actually to one thing, just a soccer topic that I mentioned at the beginning. But Madrid recently, Xabi Alonso, which was their current coach that they hired this year for this season, has decided to part ways on mutual with the team. So but the drama around it is about the players not respecting him anymore, in my opinion, not respecting him anymore, and just the ego that they're having, and that which is why he said, I'm not doing this no more, which he left. And like I said, they didn't Madrid, the owners didn't kick him out. He said, all right, I gotta go. I can't deal with this. I thought I'd try, but and I want to get your guys' opinion when it comes to like this
Babe,
team effort
eat
type
on
of
the
stuff.
floor
where, like,
or go to the other
do you
side.
think,
You're literally
honestly,
on the side of the
that
camera. You're fine.
when it comes to sports team wise, at least in the soccer world, that it should be more focused on the coaches or the players. And we got to remember, Madrid is one of the best
Did you move?
clubs in the world, most popular
Huh?
clubs in the world. And when you have Mbappe and all these high valuable players on this one team, to where they dictated a coach that was also well known to Madrid, a very respectable Madrid player, but the fact that the disrespect got to the point where he said, "I can't do this no more," and where Mbappe waved him off because when Barcelona won the cup, he wanted to do, it's like a high guard, like a show of respect, but Mbappe was calling the teammates like, "No, get over here. We're not dealing with this. I want to get your guys' opinion on this, just as the last topic, and how you guys feel about Eagles when it comes to the types of sports like this, and that. Yeah.
I
Well, when
mean,
it comes, yeah, go ahead, Greg.
all right. So when it comes to the Real Madrid situation, um, it's very tough that he left. How long was he there for, Angel?
Not even a full season. He just got here the beginning of the season.
Gotcha.
He left mid-season.
He left midseason. Okay.
Basically
So
replacing
I
him.
mean, the Eagles there are too high. I'm not very sure the coach has a very high Eagle as well. But when you have 4, 5 different players on one team that have been in the talks of the Ballon d'Or or winning best player in their position, and when you have all these players out of position and they're not happy, things will fall on the coach every single time. You can't have your players not doing what they normally do, everyone being upset, and not expect the coach to either be fired or forced, pushed out, step down, whatever the case may be. Not to go back into the football topic, but Mike Tomlin, he's never had a losing season. For the 18 years that he's been with the Steelers, he stepped down from the head coach because of the previous season he just had. So it happens in all sports. I do think Real Madrid is going to have to find a coach that can satisfy all their players.
They have a replacement now.
Oh,
they
found,
did get someone. Yeah, they do, but it felt like it's more as like he's always been the coach.
he's a
Like,
step
oh
in.
yeah,
He's a
listen.
step. Is he a
Yeah,
step in?
basically.
Okay.
I
So
would
the
say
question
that.
is, how well can he step in and make the players feel happy and adjusted to where they can either be okay with being out of position or change their formation that they normally play in? Because I'm not for sure what they're playing in, but the best to do is to possibly either change the formation or do something to the fact of where you can get enough people happy on the field and start winning games and not lose to
And
Barca. Now, I'm a Barca fan, but to lose your last 5 games, 2 of them being cup games, really important games, or I'm sorry, 3 of them being cup games, I believe, and then 2 of them being regular games, that's an embarrassment. Back in the day, when it was Messi and Ronaldo there, I mean, it was back and forth. Now it's just having all this talent on Real Madrid and you're losing games. I'm not saying Barca doesn't have talent, but you have way too many star players at way too many different positions to be losing games like this.
yeah, I completely agree. I mean, the fact that he didn't make it a full season with this team simply because of egos and whatnot, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. Because I mean, is he has to harbor some of the blame in this because, like Greg just touched on, when you got 5 or 6 players playing out of position, some things are going to get said. And when it goes on for an extended period of time, those players are going to have egos and those egos are going to come to light. And for the coach to kind of just say, I can't deal with this, well, dude, that's what you were brought there to do in the first place, 1. And 2, it's kind of your own doing. You're the one that put them in that position. I mean, if you don't like the result, then switch everything back. But then again, it's neither here nor there. And I think that kind of goes across all sports in general. Me and Greg, I can speak for him in this matter because we've had numerous conversations off camera about this, especially when it comes to the football world. And it's becoming more and more apparent in basketball now, too. You cannot have player driven leagues. I'm sorry, you can't. You have to have structure from top to bottom because the second a player starts thinking he has more authority than the coach and that what he says goes over the coach, you have a serious problem. Take college football, for example. I don't want to touch on a sore topic here, but look at Alabama. Look at their run of dominance. You had a CEO archetype coach and talent developer in Nick Saban. Greatest to ever do it by far. He ran a tight ship. He didn't take no bullshit. And what he said went. He knew what he was talking about. You're seeing remnants of it and a beginning of something with Indiana now. Kurt Signetti is from the Saban coaching tree. The dude is all business. He does not play games. He shows no emotions for 4 quarters. And when the game's over, then he'll crack a smile. But you mess up a blocking assignment, you fumble the football, you screw up on the field, you are going to get your ass chewed out a new one. But it's to develop the player. You see this shit in the NFL now, and I'm going to use this example too for the NFL. Look at the Eagles mess they got going on right now.
Oh my God.
You got so many egos on that roster. It is ridiculous. You have players thinking they know better than the coach. You have fights going on the sideline. Look at AJ Brown last year, for example. The dude was pouting he wasn't getting the football. The dude broke out a book on the sideline and went viral for the wrong reasons. Now, it's all water under the bridge now because they won the Super Bowl last year. But you're seeing the same shit this year. He's bitching, moaning, and complaining he's not getting the football. And what's happening? The team chemistry is off. They are not the same team that they were last year. And look what happened. It bit them in the ass this year. Because what happened during the wild card game? Jalen Hurts was throwing him the ball. That's what AJ Brown wanted, right? Did he get the ball? Yeah. Did he make plays with it? No. He was dropping everything. My point is, you need structure. When the coach tells you to do something, do it. It's plain and simple. However, I'm not going to sit here and sit on a high horse and say when a coach tells a player to do something, it's always 100% the right thing. Coaches are just as wrong as players in that regard. But more so than not, you need that structure and a balance to balance everything out because I think the NBA is a good example of this. I can't watch the NBA for a wide variety of reasons. I'll watch it during playoff time, but for a wide variety of reasons, it's unwatchable. The game has become stale. It's soft. The foul baiting, the whole thing with SGA going to living at the free throw line, but it's more or less how the players want to control the league across the whole spectrum of it. Back in when me and Greg loved basketball, like we like to use the 90s example and the early 2000s. The players doing the shit now in the league, they wouldn't have been able to do that when we were growing up. Your ass would have got benched and you'd have got shipped out the next day. And the same applies for football. It's okay to have a strongly worded conversation with the coach on the sideline, but pitching fits like that and cussing them out and damn near fighting, your ass would have got shipped out the next day. Look at what Bill Belichick did in New England. I didn't remember seeing any players in New England pull that shit, and if they did, they were gone.
Facts.
Same thing with
Hey,
Alabama and Coach Saban. Same thing now with Kurt Signetti in Indiana.
Belichick
You
really.
need
Sorry to
you need to run
interrupt
a
you.
tight ship.
Belichick, I mean, really is an example of that. Saban did do it after you made maybe one or two mistakes in the same game, but Belichick, look at the Malcolm Butler situation. Made the game-winning Super Bowl play. That next following year, didn't even touch the field. We don't really know what the issue is. We never really found out, but he did something to piss off Belichick to make him not touch the field.
And to follow up on what I was saying on the Alabama, it's a tale of two halves. Look what Saban did. Look what DeBoer's doing now in 2 seasons.
Horrible.
Greg made a good point
Horrible.
about this to me off camera. Is he a happy-go-happy coach? He wants the players to have fun. That's all well and good. I totally get it. But the root of all evil is it's a results-oriented business. And with the culture that Saban built at that program, it's win or you're nothing. And in 2 years, he had a 9-3 record. And yeah, does it look good on paper that the players are having fun? They're getting along with the coach? Sure. But you're not supposed to be friends with your coach. You're there to get developed and go to the NFL and then become his friend. DeBoer cannot develop talent like Saban did. He doesn't run a ship like Saban does. And the results on the field are showing because they just got their ass handed to them in the Rose Bowl by an Indiana team who runs the exact ship that Saban did. And until DeBoer is out of there or they get a coach like a Saban S, it's going to be more of the same thing. Plain and simple.
Go Canes.
I get players have egos, and it's more so worse now in the college football ranks with these kids getting paid crazy NIL deals. And if they pout and they don't get their way, they just transfer out. They're not built the same like our generation was, where you had to stay loyal and you committed, you earned it, you got developed. It's it's across all sports. It really is.
I think
Players have too big of an egos, and they're not even being developed to be a professional anymore.
nope. I forgot what school it was. I don't want to misspeak on the team. Not sure if it was SMU or some other like Southern school. 24 players transferred out. All their starters transferred out. Every single one of them. It's ridiculous. Bama used to
Insane.
have, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do believe these kids deserve to be paid. These schools are making millions, millions, and millions. Some could be making billions off of them. But when you don't set a structure to this, it's not right that these players, quarterbacks, are getting paid $6 million to jump ship. It makes no sense.
No,
Put a
it
contract
doesn't.
hold on this, or at least make in their NIL deals. Okay, hey, if I'm gonna pay you $6 million, you got to at least stay for 2 years minimum. Not this. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna pay you. I would have to get the kid's name. Some kid that just got paid out at Washington, I believe. He just got paid out,
Yeah.
and then he tried to jump ship.
Yep.
You can't do that. This is what's wrong with this NIL deal, and this is also what's wrong with these young kids. That
I'm all for the players getting paid, but you need a structure to it. It's the Wild Wild West, and it's pretty much you go to the highest bidder. And at that point, you're hurting the kids. All you're doing is enabling them. You're enabling the ego. I'm above this. I'm king shit of this. Well, isn't the ultimate goal to go to the NFL to make ultimately more money? Well, at this point, these kids are getting paid, like you said, 5, 6 million, quarterbacks in particular, to play 1 year of college football. Meanwhile, you have quarterbacks in the NFL on rookie deals. They're not even making 5 mil total for their whole rookie contract.
yep.
It's insane.
No, just I think when it comes to like soccer, the ego, no matter what, in my opinion, it's hard to compare. In my opinion, just because compare the egos of soccer players to NFL players, because I feel like since it's international, like everyone, it's around the world, it's everyone knows, and I understand the whole pay, but when it comes to the Madrid thing, I think of it as more as you got Mbappe, you got a World Cup winner, you got probably one of the best midfield English Premier players with Bellingham, and then a very, in my opinion, ego Vinicius Jr., Brazilian.
All three
You
of them
know,
are out of position, by the way.
yeah, and sometimes you can't blame the coach though. In my opinion, is because it's the owners. The owners make these calls
But owners aren't making the
because
formations, though.
no, but if the coach is to tell the owner, hey, I'm not feeling this player, and the owner's like, well, you have to deal with him. I don't care. We're not getting rid of him, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like it's hard to structure a little bit like that, especially with soccer across the continent, because it's whoever's going to bring in the most cash for in my opinion, for most of these European teams. And going to Xabi, it was slowly building up with the way these players were being coached, and I understand out of the position, but sometimes it's more of if something's not working in the past, which Madrid was struggling with a little bit, that you have to try something new. Otherwise, it's not gonna. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. It's insanity if you keep doing the same thing over and over again.
So, what do you think
Yeah.
would be new that would need to happen? Because I don't think the coach that was there, yes, he probably wanted to be there. But again, if you're not trying to satisfy your players, whether there's Eagles or not, what's the point of being there? You get what I'm saying?
In my opinion, what Madrid, they're still on top, but it's just about
On top of what?
honestly,
I don't even think they're in the top 3 in their division
they're. I think
or
no, they
in
should
the.
be. I
In,
think they're second. They're
Definitely
below
seems like
Barcelona.
Barcelona's the boogeyman to them because they can't beat them apparently.
No, they're. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure they're second in the standings right now. Yeah, they're in second with 45. Barcelona 49 points.
okay.
But Madrid is always. It's not how it used to be back in the day, where Ronaldo was on the team and the way the players were like.
Yeah, because they were
And
all
in my
sidekicks at that point, though. Not sidekicks. Not to interrupt you.
no,
but
but they didn't
go ahead.
feel they were superstars, but they didn't feel as a, in my opinion, as a Cristiano Ronaldo was. You know what I mean? Which they were all, and they were all pretty good at what positions they were. Like like back in the day, BBC, Benzema, Bale, and Cristiano Ronaldo. Man, same thing with Barcelona, MSN, Messi, Suarez, and Neymar.
But
But I'm
see,
pretty
and
sure
that's
those players were playing their actual position too.
Yeah, there was more, and there was
that.
more.
Sorry, but there was that. But there's also, you got to think of the generation, like what we were
Well,
saying
yeah,
about the NFL thing.
I was about to bring that up right now.
These
The
kids,
hunger-
these fucking kids, man.
Back then, it felt like back then it felt like
You good?
yeah, I'm good. Back then, it felt like there was more hunger and more love for the sport, but with now more money being offered, more of these like ego, especially in soccer, I feel like has just increased more to where these players feel entitled most of the time. Where at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you're getting paid, but if you're getting paid, you got to do your job. And Madrid, and some of the Madrid players have been doing their job, but at the same time, it's like maybe tone it down a bit, ego wise. Because if I'm thinking how Madrid was back then, like that midfield, their defense,
you would have to shift people
crazy.
off. There's no way that team, the way that it's built right now, that all those Eagles will match. You're better off loaning somebody out or shipping some of these players out
Yeah.
because it's just too much. Barca, there's Eagles there, but with Lemedetsky,
They
right?
seem more cohesive. They seem more cohesive and as playing as more of a team, which I can admit to as a Madrid fan. I can admit to.
Yeah.
Which
They don't. I mean, there's egos there, but the true ego got humbled when he didn't win the Ballon d'Or. So it's not as bad as it was because there was way too many people hyping him up last year, and they were wondering
Honestly,
why they
not
failed.
to cut you off, I think he needed that. He really did.
Yeah, he did. It cooled him off, and he realized that I'm not all this. I'm not the best. And now look at them this year. They're playing even better than what they did last year. So
I give Barcelona credit for that. Like they seem more aligned for what Barcelona was in 2015 to 2014.
Yeah.
With the Messi and Suarez and Neymar trio, and then with the midfield going on.
I do think eventually it will blow up again, just like that trio did. The current trio quad that they have will
Yeah.
eventually blow up. So it's just a matter of time.
Yep.
Bro.
Like I said, I think I agree with pretty much everything you guys just said, and I threw in my points as could be mentioned.
Sad to see, in my opinion, because Xavi, the ex-coach, was a legend at Madrid, and it's sad to see him go. And he tried, but I think in his opinion, he just said it's not going to work out. Let's mutually agree to have this. It's just to leave, And
Also, some
Xavi,
players can't be coaches. They just it makes it difficult, especially.
I think so, but again, he don't get me wrong, and I'll tell you right now, he can't coach. Like he did take a German Bayern, not Bayern Munich, Bayern. I think Bayern Leverkusen, and did help him win and dethrone Bayern Munich. Because most of the German league was Bayern Munich.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I totally agree. He can coach, but when you're a legend or a player that was so great, and then now you're becoming a coach, and you have all these egotistical players on a team, it makes it hard because everybody's ego tries to one up each other. If not, hey, I'm better than you. You can't do this. I'm better than you. Like, it gets to a
Yeah,
point
instead
where
of checking your egos at the door and playing as a team, they all want to just play for themselves.
and at some point, yes, he did step down, but I mean, I do think it was a smart decision because why keep on tainting yourself in your coaching career for a bunch of kids or young adults, I shouldn't say they're kids, uh, that don't want to listen and just don't care.
Especially if you let it go on too far and then they don't reach the goal that they probably set out to. And then who does the blame go on? The coach. So I don't blame him.
Oh. All right, gentlemen. I think it's about time we wrap this up.
Yes, sir.
It's about time.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank everybody for watching, and more's going to be on the way. So, see you next time, guys.
See ya.
Stay blessed.